Has everyone finished those two examples? Yes? Okay, let's just go through what we've done today. I'm just going to take this off here where I explained something to Aidan. It's not really part of what we're doing now. Okay, we said we're talking about threshold frequency. Okay, hence our heading of the board. Threshold frequency, that's how we abbreviate it. F for frequency with a little 0. Why a 0? Because that is the frequency of light that will knock an electron or work an electron loose in the metal. It's got just enough energy in that photon of light, and we've said, let's choose, for example, indigo. It changes for different metals, okay? But let's say for a certain metal, indigo light has got enough frequency, a high enough frequency, to just give that electron just enough energy to work it loose, but no kinetic energy to take off. What do we call that energy that works it loose? Work function, okay? So the threshold frequency, we call it frequency 0, is the frequency which has just enough frequency to get an electron loose, but there is 0 kinetic energy for that electron. Okay, right. And that's how it's abbreviated. The definition, this is the frequency of light that has just enough energy to overcome the work function of a metal, i.e. just enough energy to work an electron loose from a metal surface without giving it any EK. Your formula, if F0 is your threshold frequency, then what is the whole energy of that photon of light? H times the threshold frequency will give you that energy, which is your work function. Okay, you happy with that? Right. What we did also say is that if your formula says that the EK of an electron, the maximum kinetic energy that an electron will have, will be equal to the energy of the light that hits that metal minus the energy that it takes to work that electron out of that metal. Do you agree? The work function. We can rewrite that as that's the energy of the photon that strikes minus the work function. What's another formula for work function? H F0. You agree? So that's, if you wanted to, you could have H F minus F0. Don't go there because that's not what your data sheet lists it as, and you won't get given a mark if you go and play around with your data sheet formulas first. Write it down like that. Obviously, you can also say a half mv squared max equals the energy of the photon that strikes minus the work function. Right. All happy with that? All understanding where we're coming from? Let's mark those two examples. Can I clear this picture here? Right, light with a frequency of that manages to work an electron loose from a metal surface without it having any additional kinetic energy. Calculate the work function, nice and simple. The work function is equal to the HF0, 6,63 times 10 to the minus 34 is H. The threshold frequency is 6 times 10 to the 14. What does that work out to be, please? Times 10 to the joules. Work function is energy, so it's in joules. All happy with that? Number one. Anyone not get that right? Sorry? 4, okay, because you obviously worked to there and that rounded. Okay. No, it should have given you 3,99. 4, but anyway, not the end of the world. Calculator errors. Next one, the threshold frequency of cadmium is 500 nanometers. Calculate W0 for cadmium. Well, we can go straight to W0 equals H F0 if you want to, or W0 equals H C over the threshold wavelength. Let's do this first. 6,63 times 10 to the minus 34. 3 times 10 to the power of 8 is C. Do you agree? And the threshold wavelength is 500 times 10 to the minus 9. And you should get an answer of? Same answer as this. Is that one? Serious? Huh? Where did that come from? Wow, okay. That I just dreamt up in my head. Okay. Really didn't intend that to be. So 3,98 times 10 to the minus 19 joules. Okay, and obviously this one works out the same way. You'd have to go and work out F0 first. Is going to be equal to C over lambda 0, am I right? Which is equal to 3 times 10 to the power of 8 over lambda 0 was 500 times 10 to the minus 9. Gives you an answer of, I don't know. And then you'd say, right there, for W0 equals 6,63 times 10 to the minus 34 times this answer. What did this answer come out to be, please? 6 times 10 to the 14. Yeah, it should be. Okay, hertz. 6 times 10 to the 14 hertz, which gives you the same answer as you did over there. 3,98 times 10 to the minus 19 joules. Right, two possible ways of doing the last one. All happy? Good. What I'd like you to do now is question 2 on page 4 of your notes, please. Question 2 on page 4 of your notes. I'll read it. A metal has a threshold frequency of 3 times 10 to the 12 hertz. Calculate W0 for this metal. Now, if light with a frequency of 4 times 10 to the 14 hertz is now shone onto it, calculate the emitted electrons EK. Right. The second part of the question is, if light with the frequency of this is now shone onto it, calculate the emitted electron's energy. So you're not asked to break it down, so EK maximum is equal to HF minus the work function. HF is 6,63 times 10 to the minus 34 times the light that was actually shone onto it, 4 times 10 to the 14 hertz, minus the work function which you've just calculated there, 1,99 times 10 to the minus 21. What is this going to give you? 4 3s are 12, 4 6s are 24, and 1 is 25. 4 6s are 24, and 2 is 26. 2,65 times 10 to the minus 20 minus 19 minus 1,99 times 10 to the minus 21, and that you can work out is still going to give you 2,6 something. What? 2,63 times 10 to the minus 19 joules. Hardly makes any difference. This light is so much stronger than the threshold frequency light. Okay. We're all happy, we all understand. I'm going to take up a little bit more of your time. Let's clear this. Yes. Okay, let's carry on. You're going to have to steal a bit of time after break. Is that when your bio starts? No. You already had it. Okay, let's quickly go through it. I want to give you a few notes on the photoelectric cell. A photoelectric cell is a little hollow glass tube. Okay? It's a little hollow glass tube. I'm going to draw it much bigger than what it is. It's got a base. It's got a pin over there, and it's got like a sheet of metal, like tin foil almost. So if you had to look at it from the top, you'd see the following: a round circle. You agree? What else would you see? Your tin foil would be like a shield, okay? And your pin you would just see like that. Looks like a smiley face with a few bits missing. Okay. A sideways smiley face with a nose and one eye taken out. All right, are we happy with that? Now, how do you work with a photoelectric cell? You connect it to a battery first of all. Is any electricity flowing? Where? What's your first requirement for a circuit? Okay, electricity flows. Then? This is a hollow vacuum. Okay, so this is what we call the pin, which is the anode. And this is positive. You agree? This is the plate. And that is negative. Come in. Okay. So electricity can't flow. We all agree with that? However, if I shine light of the correct frequency on there, light with a high enough frequency, okay, light, and that light is able to knock electrons out of the plate, where will those electrons go to? They will go to there, and then will I have electricity flowing? Yes or no? Oh, sorry. I've drawn it wrong. Other way around. Right, you agree those electrons will move to the pin, because the pin is positive. They won't go back to the plate because the plate's minus. So you've got an electric field running from positive to negative. They will run against the electric field, and then a current will flow. How will the current flow? You'll have electrons flowing that way. Do you agree? Happy with that? Right. Now if I had to put a very sensitive ammeter in over there, if I had no light, would the ammeter register a reading? There wasn't any light. Okay, so no light, no reading on ammeter. You agree? If light, which is less than H, than F0. In other words, if the light I shine on there has got a lower frequency than the threshold frequency, will I get electrons knocked out? no reading on the ammeter. You agree? And if I double up that light, greater intensity, still no reading. Light which is greater than F0, then you will get a reading on the ammeter. Agree with that? And if I go light with an even bigger frequency, I'm going to show it as light of an even bigger frequency than F0 than that light. Same reading. And light of a greater intensity, then I'm going to knock more electrons out, then I'll have a greater reading. Okay, I will give you a worksheet on that to take home with you after your test tomorrow. That's where I'm going to call it a day. Yes? You'll get a weak reading. You get a flutter on the ammeter. You don't actually get a good reading. Okay, it depends how strong your battery is. Your battery may be able to pull those electrons across. So I won't give you that. Okay. That is a photovoltaic cell, yes. Not quite. A photovoltaic cell are those cells that you put out in the light and they generate electricity. Similar basis. That is, you walk into a pharmacy door and it goes bing bong. Okay? What you've got is a bell that goes bing bong when the electricity stops flowing. So when you walk through the beam, you break the beam. The electricity stops and the bell rings. And for as long as you break the beam, the bell will go bing bong, bing bong, bing bong. Because while the electricity is flowing, it's preventing it from ringing. That's how the photoelectric cell works. Those of you who are going to bio better get there. Yes, there will be squash practice today. And it's a practice. I haven't heard anything from the 3 schools I contacted. They haven't even got back to me. Excuse me. If we can get a chance to meet now, I wouldn't mind doing so quickly. Where's the office? Yeah, bring it with. Or Mel, do you want to just tell James if once he's finished, we can just meet for a few minutes? Thank you. Sorry? Okay, we can just meet in the meantime. I won't be able to see you now. I've got an urgent meeting that I've got to be at. Sorry. No idea. Let me call my wife and find out what's happening in that regard. Do we know anything about bread buddies today?
They are busy making bread buddies at the moment.
Is the box gone? Give me a little slice of them. Story. You can have mine.
No. Why don't you take it with you?
No,
I will
it's fine.
this one.
Go one. We don't know where the box is. But they're all busy making at the moment in Mr. Smith's class.
And I'll just tell him to put it on.
We'll make a plan. Stephen is coming across. I'm in the library, I noticed.
But if he doesn't put a hand in his form, he's not going to be able to put that in.
Is he on something? Come through, Stephen. James has got a prac, so he can't be here at the moment. But Mel has had a chance to chat to the grade 11s, and she's spoken to me. I've just asked her to give us feedback on what she got from them. Quite interesting.
So I met with 8 of them. She was part of the meeting, but she's still on the nutrition that is staying on full time upper. So there were 8, which Mika actually, Jonathan, Patel, Dylan, Mandela, and Odwa.
Okay.
So initially when I asked, I just said that it's a confidential meeting to gain understanding of why they're not staying African American general body to get an understanding. And I wanted to answer what. So they started by saying that I need to experience there's a lot of stress, a lot of commitment in terms of early morning meetings, after school duties. They also said that they have the perception that being a prefect is not needed or asked about in the working world. And if it is asked about, if the place of employment does think it's important, being a prefect isn't going to do much for you if you constantly against the prefect of the school. So that is a reason. And then they also said that being a prefect is not really primary concern. The primary concern is research. One person said that he's under a lot of pressure from his parents to achieve results, and that if he had to have even more pressure from the recruiter, he would be totally demotivated. Someone else said that they're struggling to aid him, and they have an understanding that the workload is such that, not very many months, but it feels like 1 out of 7 days that he has to divide his time, it's like he gives 1/7 of his time in the future, because that's what I was doing to 1 out of 7 days, and so the general feeling in the first 10 to 15 minutes of the meeting was, it's about the work pressure, it's about the load, it's about a negative commitment to the part of that. And so we kind of came to a pause, and then someone spoke about the grade 8 orientation, which they had been a part of at the beginning of this course as past practice. And I found that really interesting. The person said that they had learned the most that they had learned about leadership from being part of the grade 8 orientation. They found it really helpful in helping them to understand how to lead, and that they built a relationship with the juniors, and they could pass on to them the ethos of the school without having to lay down laws. And so they were role models and mentors and companions rather than disciplinarians. And that was a little turning point in our conversation. And then I explained that in our school we tried to incorporate the concept that prefects represent their peers. having class reps and portfolios and that kind of thing. And they said they felt like the class rep system and the portfolio system is very superficial. It's like window dressing. It's not actually the core function of the prefect that can speak at this moment. They felt like the core function of the prefect that can speak at this moment is the disciplinary role, and they would get off the partner. And then they went so far to say that they went to take stand as an extension of a system that they respect, but they don't necessarily find anything about it. They would rather represent their peers in a forum than the disciplinary sitting soft and late something like that. They felt like they would love to have a system where there's a rep for every class that really genuinely listens and takes those concerns to another forum. They felt like they'd rather be representative than disciplinary. That kept coming through a lot. The summary was they would rather they would enforce less and represent more. That's for them what the real leadership is. They thought that grades 11 and 10 should probably have the role of the enforcers, the uniform, that kind of thing. Whereas the effect should rather be the voice for their peers. So then I said to them, okay, at the beginning of this meeting, we were not prepared to pretend you were saying that, pick up the unnecessary as a prefect. If the role of the prefect has to suddenly change overnight and become that person who represents your school rather than the person that enforces discipline, the burden on the text still be such that you wouldn't stay. And some of them said very categorically that it would make the decision more difficult. But aiming to represent and having a voice for the school, it would make the decision than not standing for it. Because right now I feel like they have a cop-out that would say, I don't want to be part of the system, I don't want to be part of the system. So I asked them what they wanted me to do with that information, and they said I need to take it back to this meeting, and they would also like to take it back to all the very level myself. That's my conception of how I was raised to be. This wasn't this week, this was prior to this. They felt that being a prefect was having to be portfolios that we hadn't created, we had a choice in. We expected to perpetuate them, and they didn't like that. They wanted the prefect to choose their own portfolio, their own interest, and their own goals. And they also felt they spent too much time sitting by themselves on benches, for example, doing break, things like toilets, which I must not have had to agree with them. So I mean, that's gone. And that's why I was saying maybe if we had a slightly bigger prefect body, it could either be the load could be or we would change the system.
Looking at what is the role stand up.
You know, we make a very quick that we should contact you. There's nothing there.
Is that I think they are.
Don't need to be part of that answer, but
from what I see the people doing, it seems to me they spend a lot of time doing that.
Okay, are we prepared to structure our way of developing young people to be more in line with that if we think it's possible? The last thing I want to do is go to these kids and say, we hear you, we will implement it. That's a dirty move.
I think whatever you decide, James will, you could think that James will be part of how we change it, but I think the one who's going to be change.
Yeah, the simple elements are in the back. The vegetables, the users, role models, but in addition, that we have taken responsibility. So we can't just like say, okay, you've got no responsibility.
Because that's not really how we understand. I think we have.
But we also have that maybe the kicking of the socks and the kicking of the knee and all that, that's really something anyone can do, maybe. And I think that a lot of that is behind it. Speaking of uniform, speaking of appearance. But I think the general discipline outside of that, where they are and what's going on around them, you say you do think you keep your eyes open and just look at it. That's fine. But I think it's enforced that. I think it's just a real
Okay. I'm happy to, I'll chat to James about it. I think if he disagrees, we would see where he disagrees. But if we feel that it is maybe a good shift the focus that our prefect fitting into the boxes than that, rather than being genuine leaders of the people, then I think we must make the changes.
Because one thing to do on leadership campaigns is we try to emphasize that it's about leadership, that everybody's a leader in the trip, especially in the trip. And maybe that doesn't come too clear enough. But the difference between what is the role of the teacher and what is the role of the leader. Or that's not really clear. Yes. So the election of the work you have to work. Something like that, whatever. But that's the job. Look at me, as the resident picture today. Yes, all the way through to state of grade, position authority, even up to everybody that they have a speech there, other words, for officer. Yes. So, and maybe that's it.
I'm happy to go that route.
But do you think it should be going that route in the short term, or should we be giving it a lot more thought? And
What I said to Melanie is, I would hate to see us making these changes. If they are the school, student representatives of the kids, they should use their term as prefects to bring about those changes. To say, no, we don't want to run with these portfolios. This is what our focus is going to be for 2015. This is where we want to... They're quite entitled to say no. We didn't buy into those portfolios. We bought into being leaders of the school. And as a leader of the school, don't tell us what we must and how we must lead. I would back them 110% in that. Because that's what I want from true leaders. I don't mind if it rocks my boat. That's my problem. But
because there's a system in place. Nice say that system is there,
yeah.
Or does
as that system is managed by the rest, you pull in 11 to do other things, like in 24. You do the gate piece in the down and then at 11.
From the start.
From now, I mean, from now, I will do a 10. Yeah, 11 to 12 is here. And then next to the 12 to 11 is here. So the 11s are all the not. It doesn't have to be that much not.
No, don't you think that sometimes the key very and they really do the sitting on the bench, but that is to this time of the year where the ministers
Yeah, I almost don't see the prefects as being the ones who should be sitting on the bench or standing at mornings. A prefect should be, my portfolio is managing the grade 10s and 11s who look after the gates. And seeing that they're okay, they're doing their job, motivating them, working with them as people.
Maybe they have to do it every single grade. Because I think that's also the only grade.
Good. Yeah.
I mean, break time is a socialization line. And James doesn't want them sitting on the bench out here with their friends. It's only like one person sitting on that bench for an entire break. So effectively, you're taking away the ability to socialize with their peers. And that is, I mean, it's 15 minutes, another 20 minutes.
Okay.
So
Look,
we're doing the time.
I think we must be careful that we don't shoot down the entire system, because there's a lot about the entire system which has had a lot of input and a lot of thought and a lot of effort. But, yeah.
Yes, but I do also think there mustn't necessarily be forced into particular portfolios because those are the only portfolios on offer. I think it is up to each prefect body to redefine those portfolios as they see fit. If they want to change the name, so be it.
Or change the direction of a portfolio completely. I mean, it may not suit their characters and interests and...
And it's up to them to define their goal. I mean, like James said, whatever that portfolio is, if they took a photograph from the board, they have only one photograph all year.
and communications.
Yeah.
But yeah, there isn't someone who has those strengths, so why try and flog that horse? Okay, what's our next step? Mm. Okay. I'm not too sure what the rest of today holds. I know he's going off to canoeing this afternoon, etc., etc. So whether we get a chance between now and the end of the school day, I don't know. If we do, fine. If not, tomorrow morning. But I think whatever we do, we won't have our prefect elections tomorrow morning homeroom period. It'll be a normal homeroom period. The school are expecting prefect elections at the end of assembly, but the prefects giving their feedback for the year and the matrics giving their feedback for the year, I see that assembly going over time. That's the ideal time to say, sorry, we'll do our elections next time an assembly allows itself. So it gives us a week just to point ourselves in the right direction.
Or if you don't have time, say refine the job for next year.
Is to redefine it.
Redefine the people part, the duties of the people. And that would be, and again, with nothing to need to be involved in all this. And then, you know, say, either if you could come up with something more quicker, so it can apply to them, but even if it's only delayed, not delayed. Or a combo. Doesn't have to be a combo.
So they start the ball rolling, and then that changes momentum.
Yes, I agree.
But if a foundation
Yeah.
there, then you know,
And then, you know, their goal, he says it now, is to add, and campuses go, or they feel, more
That they can live with and they feel is worthwhile.
and I think it actually
Without
means
us
that we
sacrificing.
stop in the use of funds and costs. Actually, I would say we're doing far too many activities, but the things that need to be done aren't being dealt with. Yeah, activities are valuable, but you can cut them down into small activities that are good for a purpose, but then engaging is really important here. I was just
I mean, I'm happy to go that route because, as I say, it's not the strongest of groups we've ever had, but there are some very strong individuals in that group, and if we don't hear what they are saying, yeah, it's going to come up. You know, it's not just a couple of kids who this year don't want to stand. It's going to be a bigger group next year and a bigger group the following year. Okay, let's turn it into something positive. Thank you. Break ends in 2 minutes time. Okay, this is both breaks. Can I just remind you tonight, our meeting, are you okay with that? It's the Canon's Forum meeting. We meet with the class reps in the computer room. Is that okay? Okay. I've got a broccoli smell that I'm. Transparent.
Yeah, transparent. It's actually a very nice name. That looks pretty transparent. Vermicelli means that it's very, very thin. Silly worm. Silly worm. Really?
need an email back if they want, oh, ching, 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 I'm making a profit because they obviously want to sell it again later. But take that is so wrong. It's so wrong.
This does not taste the same as cream.
Yeah, for him. Yeah, well, a while ago, so that they don't have to take care of, they didn't have that financial whatever. But so, the first partner brought to my parents today that is on the market right now. And so I asked how much it's going for, and I kind of online and I looked at other flats in that same complex, and they go for about 700,000. He gave my parents 400,000 for that house. And I was like, yeah, okay.
And what we said at the
He will sell it. He will sell it.
the next option.
I don't know sell it while they're still in it. No. Because my best friend, and so she had them sign a thing that it's called, I don't know what it's called, but it's live. So as long as they're alive, they can make stuff. She's like, no, she's done this. I think she did the same with her. So that's well, I don't have any inheritance. I'm taking care of my parents right now. That's what makes me so mad, because they say that they did their share, they bought the flat. So now all the other living expenses fall off. I'm single. Anyway, it just makes me so mad. I don't care. Like, I honestly don't care.
That's actually
It's theirs.
Yes,
Yeah.
yeah.
going to make money out of
I
it.
know, but that's what makes me so mad. And then she's constantly calling my mom to come and babysit. Like, it's like they don't give them anything for it. They don't give them money. They don't give them.
Because like they bought the flat now.
It's like, well, we don't. And so my sister's now realizing, because I told her, I don't care. It's not like, it's not a burden to me. It's like, it's just gotta do. It's just gotta do. It's part of my life. And so I said to you, just understand that things in South Africa is more expensive than you realize. And now that she's back, she actually said to my mom the other day, oh my gosh, she didn't realize that, but even when she goes shopping, she realized that food is so much more expensive here than she thought. And so, it's just normally all these things.
I'll call the secretary now. Terry. Someone here? She's on the way out? Okay.